Is your magic meter running low? Well, we've got a cure for you. Welcome to Disney Coast to Coast.
Hey folks, and welcome to Disney Coast to Coast, the ultimate unofficial Disney fan podcast. I'm Jeff DePaoli, and in today's House of Mouse headlines, a bunch of news has come out of D23's Destination D at Walt Disney World, including names for the Galaxy's Edge attractions and new nighttime spectaculars for Walt Disney World. That and so much more, so let's get to it.
Here are the latest news from the Walt Disney Company in today's House of Mouse headlines.
Before we get to today's news, I have some exciting personal news to share. You may have heard about this on social media already, but in case you haven't, I'm happy to share the news that after years of playing trivia time on many episodes of Disney Coast to Coast, you can now hear me as the official voice of Disney Trivia on Alexa. That's right, the game was created for the Amazon Echo Dot Kids Edition and is now available to play. There are ways to play the game on other Alexa devices as well if you have free time. To hear clips from the game and for instructions to install it on Alexa devices, you can visit my voiceover website at jeffdvoiceover.com. By now, I'm sure you've already heard the news that Marvel creative leader Stan Lee passed away at the age of 95 this past week. Now, I've made it no secret on this show that I'm not a very big fan of Marvel or comic books and superhero movies in general, but perhaps one thing I haven't made entirely clear is the amount of respect I've always had for Stan Lee. What he's accomplished is quite amazing, and beyond that, he's always told stories that preach tolerance and acceptance for all different types of people. 95 years is quite an incredible run, and I think it's safe to say that his legacy will certainly live far beyond that. Disney recently shared some videos giving us more information about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, including the names of the two attractions, plus some very exciting news about the music in the land. The first attraction, entitled Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run, puts guests behind the controls of the most famous ship in the galaxy in one of 3 unique flight crew roles. The second attraction, which puts guests in the middle of an epic battle between the Resistance and the First Order, is called Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. One of the coolest things about the Rise of the Resistance teaser video is that the video was shot in the actual attraction. The video looks just like you're watching a Star Wars movie, so it's pretty exciting to see just how detailed the actual attraction will be. These 2 new incredible experiences, paired with the land's dynamic elements and optional interactive integration with the Play Disney Parks app, invite guests to become galactic travelers and live their own Star Wars stories in a galaxy far, far away. And now for the news about the music in the land. Oscar-winning composer John Williams is creating new and original Star Wars themes exclusively for the land. In the video, we hear a stirring preview of the all-new music recorded by the London Symphony Orchestra at Abbey Road Studios. This video also showcases recent construction progress at Disneyland and Disney's Hollywood Studios. Now folks, this is the video that got me extremely excited for this land. The flyover footage of the actual land just made it so real for me. I highly suggest you check out these videos, and I'll include the links in the episode description. Also announced at Destination D was news of an all-new cinematic nighttime experience, Wonderful World of Animation, which will debut at Disney's Hollywood Studios in May 2019 as part of the park's 30th anniversary celebration. The show will use state-of-the-art projection technology to take guests on a magical journey through more than 90 years of Disney animation, all beginning with Mickey himself. So this will be a new projection show on the Chinese theater. My guess is that this will replace Disney movie magic, but I'd be surprised if Star Wars: A Galactic Spectacular doesn't stick around, since the Galaxy's Edge will be opening at Disney's Hollywood Studios soon after. Over at Epcot, we got news about the all-new Guardians of the Galaxy attraction. Disney Parks, Experiences, and Consumer Products Chairman Bob Chapek shared the first details on the innovative new ride system planned to bring the adventurous Guardians of the Galaxy-inspired attraction to life at Epcot. According to Bob, building an adventure this big will require a ride system and ride vehicles unlike anything guests have experienced before. What guests will encounter can be described as a one-of-a-kind storytelling coaster that connects the adventure of a storyline with the thrills of a coaster. Bob said, on most coasters, the vehicles point straight ahead throughout the ride, but on this attraction, each individual cab will be programmed to direct your eye to the story happening around you. That means instead of whizzing by the action, you'll be fully immersed in the story from the minute you launch. Now this sounds like it'll be a similar ride system to Escape from Gringotts over at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. I'll be curious to see how much of the attraction will be video screens versus practical sets. I feel like that is where the opportunity is to really differentiate itself from the competition. In fact, considering the fact that they've run into a bit of trouble when it comes to shooting the video footage for the attraction since the Guardians 3 movie production has been delayed, perhaps practical sets could be a win-win scenario. But one thing's for sure, I'm really hoping that this attraction gives me an experience I've never had before. I'm also curious to see whether or not that storyline of Peter Quill visiting Epcot becomes a large part of the attraction, or if it was just a throwaway line to justify fitting the attraction in the park. This attraction is scheduled to open during Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary in 2021. Staying at Epcot, we got some news about the Ratatouille attraction opening in the France Pavilion. The attraction will be called Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. The counterpart attraction at Walt Disney Studios Park at the Disneyland Paris Resort translate to Ratatouille the Adventure, so I'd definitely say the name change is an upgrade. We also got news that in addition to Impressions de France, a brand new Beauty and the Beast sing-along created by Don Hahn, producer of the animated and live-action Beauty and the Beast films, is set to debut. And some final news for Epcot this week, we got news about the new Nighttime Spectacular that will be replacing Illuminations. The new Nighttime Spectacular will celebrate how Disney music inspires people around the world and will feature massive floating set pieces, custom-built LED panels, choreographed moving fountains, lights, pyrotechnics, and lasers. But before the new show debuts in 2020, there will be a limited-time experience Epcot fans will love called Epcot Forever, which will debut in fall 2019 and will feature classic Epcot tunes. It sounds like the nostalgia of Epcot Forever may end up becoming even more popular than the new show that will replace it. I certainly hope we hear classic Epcot tunes from Honey, I Shrunk the Audience in Epcot Forever. Now let's fly over to the West Coast and visit Disneyland Resort, where the festivities will continue with Get Your Ears On, a Mickey and Minnie celebration, which will feature new entertainment, food, and merchandise. On January 18th, Mickey's Mix Magic will light up the night at Disneyland with all new music, projections, and lasers that set the scene for an epic dance party that takes over almost the entire park. This sounds very interesting to me because I'm curious if this projection and laser show will take the place of a fireworks show. If you're a frequent visitor of Disneyland Park, you know that the fireworks are often canceled due to high winds, and from what I've heard, this will be an even bigger problem once Galaxy's Edge opens. I could be completely wrong about this is purely speculation, but I wouldn't be surprised if Mickey's Mix Magic replaces a nightly fireworks spectacular at Disneyland Park. The party will be even bigger when Mickey's Soundsational Parade returns to the resort in January 2019, featuring a new float with Mickey himself, who will lead the celebration down Main Street, USA. Now let's hop over to Disney California Adventure, where early next year, superhero fans will flash back to the 90s when Captain Marvel opens in theaters on March 8th, 2019, and for a limited time, Disneyland Resort guests will have the opportunity to encounter Captain Marvel herself. Captain Marvel will join an already epic lineup of heroes appearing at Disney California Adventure Park, including Black Panther, Spider-Man, and Captain America. Captain Marvel is an all-new adventure that follows the journey of ace Air Force pilot Carol Danvers as she becomes one of the most powerful heroes in the universe. When Earth is caught in the middle of a galactic war between two alien races, Danvers finds herself at the center of the maelstrom. And now for some movie news, we got some new movie trailers. I'll include links to those in the episode description if you want to check them out. We got our first teaser trailers for Toy Story 4, where we meet the characters Ducky and Bunny, voiced by Keegan-Michael Key and Jordan Peele. We also got a full-length trailer for Dumbo, which looks absolutely fantastic to me. I'm looking extremely forward to seeing that one. And speaking of fantastic, I saw an advanced screening of Mary Poppins Returns, and although I can't say much about it, I will say that y'all are in for a treat. Folks, it is that time of year when Disney Coast to Coast sells our annual calendars to help support next season of Disney Coast to Coast. That's right, Season 5 is wrapping up and Season 6 will be ramping up in early 2019. But in order for that to happen, Disney Coast to Coast needs to raise some funds. You may get these episodes for free on your podcast listening platforms, but that doesn't mean that it's free to produce. By purchasing a Disney Coast to Coast 2019 calendar, you're not only getting yourself a cool product, but you're also supporting the show. And don't forget that the holidays are just around the corner, and this calendar, featuring completely original photos from around the Disney parks, would make a great holiday gift for your friends, loved ones, or yourself. So head to DisneyCoastToCoast.com and click on Order Calendar to get yours today. These calendars will only be available for a limited time, so don't wait. Also, folks, upcoming this week, we have Ralph Breaks the Internet opening in theaters on Wednesday, November 21st. And in addition to the theatrical release, it's also the opening of The Void virtual reality experience, Ralph Breaks VR, which I've spoken about on previous episodes of Disney Coast to Coast. You can visit thevoid.com to book tickets and for more information. Of course, before we get going, we got to get to this week's Twitter poll where I asked you folks, of the following options, which Fantasyland dark ride at Disneyland is your favorite? Snow White's Scary Adventure, Pinocchio's Daring Journey, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, or Alice in Wonderland? In last place was Pinocchio's Daring Journey with 11% of the votes, followed by Snow White's Scary Adventure with 15% of the votes, then Mr. Toad's Wild Ride with 35% of the votes, and just ahead of that is Alice in Wonderland with 39% of the votes. If you want to take part in the Twitter poll, just make sure you're following DIZNEYCTC over on Twitter. You can find all of our social media over at DisneyCoastToCoast.com, and don't forget to leave those 5-star ratings and reviews on iTunes to help other Disney fans find the show more easily. This episode of Disney Coast to Coast was produced by Philip Elke, who has supported the show through Patreon. If you'd like to become a DCTC producer or gain other rewards, more information can be found at patreon.com/DCTC. Other than that, folks, have a magical day. Bye!
Thanks for watching Disney Coast to Coast. Have a magical day.
Disney Coast to Coast is produced and hosted by Jeff DePaoli. Learn more about the podcast and become a supporter at DisneyCoastToCoast.com.